GNT Show is intended for mature audiences. Parental discretion is advised. These are the voyages of the GNT Show. Our continuing mission to explore Star Trek storytelling, to seek out new worlds and interesting characters, to Boliga, where no show has gone before. Live long and prosper, bitches.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the G&T Show, episode 283. I'm Terry Lynn, and it is June 18th, 2017, for Michael Hinman. Across the table is my very good friend, Ceridium.
Kapla.
Good morning, Mikey.
Good morning, Terry. How are you?
I'm doing great. Nick is not with us yet. We don't believe he's going to be joining us today. It is Father's Day.
And he had Awesome Con
yesterday. And he is at Awesome Con, yeah. So it's very possible that he will not be joining us. So we decided why delay any longer. Good. So it should be just me and Mikey hanging out. If you're in the chat room, it's nice to see you. Hi, Son. Hi, Robert. Hi, John. Everybody. Bazzy.
Yeah, that surprised me seeing John in the chat room.
I know. Good morning.
Haven't seen him in so long.
I know, it's so long. So thanks for joining us in the chat room, and it'll be nice to talk with you in the chat. And if you've got any questions or comments, please jump in, chime in, and interact with us. It's always more fun that way. And Mike and I, the good news is Mike put together a whole lot of links. So we have a lot to talk about this week, even if Nick can't join us. So Mikey, what'd you do this week?
What did you do this week? Coffee Clutch.
This week, I signed up for participation in a new the third volume of the Longest Night Watch anthology. So I'm hoping to
tell everybody a little bit about what the Longest Night Watch is.
It's an anthology that benefits Alzheimer's research. I had a story published last year in volume 2, and that story was not science fiction related. Wasn't a true story, but it was loosely based on some almost true events, semi-true events. But it was an interesting challenge, and I had a fun time writing it, and apparently they liked it enough to have me back. So this time I'm writing a science fiction story. That'll teach them.
Be careful. No, that's awesome. Wonderful, wonderful news. And it's a wonderful fundraiser.
Yes.
In order to fight Alzheimer's disease. And again, for our friends who know Orrin Weish and also understand that her husband and fellow Trekkie, William Shaw, passed away a few weeks ago, she is also leaving his fundraiser for ending Alzheimer's open. So you can, donate to that as well. But, say buy both.
Hey, look up, Terry. Look up.
Oh, okay, hold on. What?
In the chat room, or in our private chat room area.
Okay.
One other thing I did this week, while things are getting worked out on over there, me and my nephews, the little dudes, there were 2 of them this week. We recorded our first episode of the Lego Adventures of Big Dude and Little Dude.
How'd that go?
It was good and it was bad. We recorded like 2 hours worth of content, and then I had to throw away like an hour and 15 minutes.
Wow. Well, yeah, you know what they say, kids and animals.
No, well, it was the adults that you have to worry about. Because me and the kids were having a great time, doing just fine, all by our lonesomes.
Yeah.
But the video is in Ross's hands at this point, so it'll be, I think, posted on YouTube at some point in the near future for Live Love Play. So once that gets posted, I will make sure to share the link.
Very, very cool. Well, I didn't do much this week. I worked, which I needed. I caught up, which was very needed. And then I get one more week before I'm again out and about to Nashville at the end of the month. So
That's
there you have it.
very far from the Ferrises, is it not?
It's a couple of hours
Ah,
from
darn.
them. Yeah. And to be honest with you, over the course of the 5 days, I have 8 speaking engagements. So
Ay caramba.
yeah, I'm going to be busy.
Okay, so
Yeah.
it's not a pleasure cruise.
No. It's our company's annual conference, and we have like 600 people coming in to attend educational seminars that we're putting on.
Oh wow, is that a wild Nick that I heard?
Yes.
It is.
Good morning, sir. Happy
Good
Father's
morning.
Day.
Oh, thank you.
How are you?
Very tired.
Fun! Convention news.
I saw some pictures yesterday. You were at Awesome Con.
Yes, I was.
That looked awesome too.
It really was. Wow, it's in its 5th year, and everybody that had been there in previous years was saying this just seemed way more crowded than previous years. Probably didn't help. Probably didn't hurt that David Tennant was there, and Elijah Dushku.
I had
and
one of your photos. Sorry to interrupt, but one of your photos, it looked like you got to see like a large swath of the room that you were in.
Oh
The
no, that
convention
was
hall
just
was huge.
Yeah, it's in the Washington Convention Center in Washington D.C. and it's huge. The vendors area is, I'm doing it in my head right now, I would say it's easily 10 times the size of the one in Vegas.
Oh wow.
It's so big. You have the vendors area and the meet the people, like the stars and autograph stuff, all on that same floor. Then you have another floor where they have like the video game room with vintage like Galaga and
Oh, fun.
Defender and all of those. Plus they have
Video
modern
games. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. And then there's a big room that I took a picture of that you could see that was just jam-packed. That was the tabletop gaming room.
Oh, cool.
Nice.
And then you've got a shitload of breakout rooms because it's a convention center. So that's where they have the panels and everything. But yeah, this year they had David Tennant, Felicia Day, Will Wheaton, I can't even begin. A little guy, you may have heard of him, maybe not, just because he's, he's old school. Stan Lee, maybe you've heard of him?
His name rings a bell. He's like, he has all those cameos and like weird.
Yeah, he's just old
yeah.
guy that they just let in.
He's this guy who's in cameos in Marvel films all the time. I don't know why.
He just keeps showing up. It's like he knows somebody, He just knows somebody. That's awesome, though. Right
And
on.
you want to know what's really funny? Now, of course, the line for like John Barrowman, David Tennant, Elijah Dushku, all those were really long. Do you know who had one of the longest lines of the day?
Nope.
It blew my mind. WWE pro wrestler Charlotte.
Oh, really? Interesting.
Whom, by the way, TV does no justice for.
He's even bigger in real life.
No. She's
She.
beautiful.
Oh, excuse me.
Charlotte, yeah.
Yeah, Charlotte Flair, Ric Flair's daughter.
Oh, right on. It's been so long since
Yeah.
I haven't watched wrestling
And
since like
she's
80s.
really his daughter. It's not like they came up with a gimmick. She's really his daughter.
That's awesome.
But the line for her, and it was all little girls, which I just think is.
Oh, that's cool.
And what's even funnier is she's a bad guy, but they love her.
Well, that's
which,
cool.
I'm looking at it as I'm standing there, and I was just looking at the line, and I was like, man, they're using her all wrong because they're sitting on $1 million with her. Just looking at the audience,
Right on.
But it was so crowded, and I got to see my friend Naris She's back from her deployment overseas. She had been there for a year, so it's the first time I've got to see her since she was dressed as Zatanna, so that was very cool.
Very
have
cool.
have you did you bump into Hawuk?
Mike Tripp.
Mike Tripp?
You know what? I didn't run into him.
I know that it kept seeing photos of you two at the same places, and it's like
I know, and somebody else said that they saw something that I took a picture of, and they didn't
That was
realize
Mike
it was
Tripp.
me.
That was Mike.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
Mike
didn't realize
Tripp.
it was me taking the picture.
That's funny. That's funny.
But and boom, it was Zing Zang Zoom in it to get our my press pass. Very professional. About the only problem that I really had was how crowded it was, and that had nothing to do with everything. Like every convention, you're walking down an aisle and somebody has to stop to
Take
their
a picture.
phone,
Oh yeah.
and it causes 17 people behind them to jam up. But it wasn't that kind of thing that was bugging me. It was just my anxiety.
Yeah.
But luckily, when
yeah.
you get into the big area where all the celebrities and stuff are, it's so big, and the way the booths are, I can't really describe it, but it's a big open area. Okay, you know the wall at STLV, the side wall, Terry, where like the long table is set up that they'll put all the next gen people at?
Oh yeah.
Okay, they're like that, but then there's nothing else on the floor area, because
Right.
the other side, the opposite wall, is concession. So you've got this massive room, so you can stand in that area and nobody's around you, and more importantly, there's air circulating.
Nice.
Yeah. And especially on a summer day in DC where humidity,
Ugh.
the dew point was, the last time I had checked, the dew point was at 9,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh man.
That's gross.
Yeah, it really was. And I felt for some of the people in their costumes.
Oh man.
Some of those costumes though were amazing.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I'm
Some
gonna
of the
try. I'm gonna try to steal some of those for the
Oh,
the
go
blog
ahead.
post.
Go ahead. I put I think about 40 up, 45.
Very cool. Now, are you
So,
going
yeah, it
back
was
today?
No, are you kidding?
Yeah.
My knees are so sore.
They're already shot.
Yeah, and
Aw.
the other thing that happened this week is went and saw the neurologist, and
Ah.
have to go back and get the the electric conduction? Is
Yeah.
that what it's called?
Yeah.
Because they're trying to figure out if they need to fuse my spine or not, because
Yeah.
I have no discs.
Did the missus go with you to Awesome Con?
No, she had no desire to.
Okay.
But that's the beauty. She
You guys are adults, man.
yeah.
That's
She
cool.
did her thing, and I did mine. And we had some family stuff that happened, and I wasn't even going to go. And she was like, "No, you need to go. You need to go." So
Right on.
Well, I'm glad you had a good time. And I'm glad that you're with us this morning.
yeah, I just I'm so exhausted.
Yeah. You know, we need to Mike, we
Yes.
have a recording from Ross, do we not?
We sure do.
Why don't
Wait
we go
a minute,
ahead?
Steve's not here, so
Yeah.
Yes, he's
But-
he's taking care of a lot of works related stuff. So
but does that mean no?
I don't have I don't have the same capability he does.
Sorry.
Sorry. So we'll have to provide our own voiceover.
Well, it also gives me an opportunity to run to the kitchen and get another
Aloha.
cup of coffee.
Okay.
Aloha. Ross here from Live Love Play with a new content update. Getting Lost in Space Episode 2, No Place to Hide Part 2, is live for my patrons. Getting Lost in Space is a retrospective discussion about the classic TV show that inspired a generation. The show is hosted by me and Mark Cushman, author Are These Are the Voyages, and Irwin Allen's Lost in Space. On iLiveLovePlay.com, you'll find the public release for Gods of Yukon Episode 5, The Plague Doctor. A masked man with a foul cargo bears ill tidings for the party. How will they proceed? Gods of Yukon Episode 6, Scheduled to Die, is available for my patrons. If you want to watch the episode first, pledge today on Patreon. I live stream 3 times a week on twitch.tv/subsailor688, Monday and Thursday at 3, Saturday at 5. So come and join me and enjoy the game and the company. I play something different each day, so expect a variety. In addition to my live broadcasts, you'll find my entire library of live stream highlights, as well as archive broadcasts and exclusive uploads. Archives don't stick around forever, so check them out before they're gone. I repost my content all over Facebook, Twitter, Tumblr, YouTube, VidMe, Patreon, and Twitch, so look me up and enjoy. Thanks for listening, and a special thanks to the host of the GNT show, blah, 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 blah. This is Ross saying thanks again, and until next time, remember to live, to love, and to play every day.
Every day.
Did he just blah, 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 blahs?
Yes, he did.
Oh, I think, all right.
Turn it
All right, if he wants to blah, 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 blahs.
That was funny though. Thank you, Ross. As always, check out Live, Love, Play. Oh wow, chat room. Okay.
Oh, the thing that Sun put in?
Yeah, I figured it had to be Sun. Very cool. Right on. Okay, so
Now
Carrie's-
well, which one? The box or the jiggling?
the jiggling. Yeah, that's just distracting.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's taking your mind off of everything, isn't it?
Yes, it is. It's like a black hole just keeps sucking me back in. Quick, someone post other pictures. in the
No,
chat.
don't leave my. Now you get to see Mikey
All
totally
flustered?
flustered.
Yeah.
So I was gonna ask a question. I just woke up, so I had to take a pain pill last night because of my neck, so I'm like, oh God, son.
I guess I asked for that, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Something that we had that got posted this week that we had done last week is the shore leave interview with Mike Schilling.
That's true.
That's
it's up.
live. Yes, it is up. So check that
I'm
out.
back.
Welcome back, Terry. Yeah, so check
You
out.
missed it. Mike got flustered. He couldn't even
Oh
talk.
yeah, I was just all tabla.
From what? What
Look in the
flustered you?
chat room.
Then scroll up a little bit.
Just a little, yeah.
So, but yeah, so the Mike Schilling interview's up and live. You can check that out. It was fun hearing all about shore leave, and I wish I could go because that sounds amazing. It sounds like a
Oh,
lot
it
of
is.
fun.
It is.
So,
Oh, okay.
The basketball announcer, Terry.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Mike was tripping all over himself.
That's very cute.
that I was.
Well, I wanted to say, reach out and say thank you to Ross. It's always so good to be able to support him, even though for all the shit that Nick gives him.
Hey, wait! I haven't said anything. I don't control the soundboard.
Yeah, you do. Verbally.
No,
you tell
I don't.
him when to push the button.
No, I don't. No, there's times he's done it where it's made me laugh out loud.
Yeah. Well, we do want to say congratulations on everything that he does.
Wait a minute, did you all hear them just link me and Steve?
Oh.
We're gonna push this 2017 thing only so far. Let me just say that.
And also we want to send out a note of congratulations over to Havraha Heath Rao.
Yep.
He got notice that he became a Twitch affiliate this week, so that's
I
fantastic.
have no
news.
idea what that even means, but congratulations.
It's actually a really cool thing. So
Oh, he became an affiliate?
yeah.
Way to go, Have.
Yeah, I know, right? So I'm really excited for him because I know he's been working really, really hard on his Twitch page too. Now we're hoping to have the same thing happen with Live, Love, Play. So please, please, please follow and subscribe, and Patreon to Live, Love, Play and iliveloveplay.com. Correct, Mikey?
That would be correct.
So yay. We have some links to talk about.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of want to start off with let's just start off with it.
I made something Star Trek. Unofficial Productions.
With The news that John Delancey is going to be appearing in Star Trek continues.
I know. That's fantastical.
Yes.
And before a bunch of people start to freak out about whether or not this meets the guidelines, the fact of the matter is, all of Star Trek Continues stuff was pretty much
Filmed.
already
It was already in the can.
it was already in the can when that came out. When the guidelines came out. So, there you have it. But
Wait a
he is
minute.
not. What?
Wait, they produced something?
I think it's like, what, 9 so far? The 9th
Did
one's
they
coming
really?
out.
Did they
Yeah.
really? They produced things?
They actually produce things, yeah.
Huh.
With the money that they're given,
And it's a
And-
501c3, correct?
it is.
Huh. And here
And-
we are on S plus 18, and
What does S mean
Alec
again?
Koresh hasn't dispatched anything from the compound?
Mike wants to know what the S means again.
Script.
So it's been script day plus 18?
Yes.
Okay, just confirming.
It
I mean, yeah, I'm sorry. Thank you, Robert Reyes. You're right. So that means that Radio Edit is still in the compound 18 days past when we were told there would be something, and nothing.
as far as I
come
know,
out.
yeah, I haven't
Oh,
heard anything.
and by the
yet.
way,
Hmm.
Radio Edit can private message me all he wants. It all gets posted anyway. And if your mental ability and intelligence is fucking asshole, go be with your family, then now we know why there's no script. But Star Trek
I blocked
Continues
him a
has
long
had
time
what,
ago.
like 8 scripts, 9 scripts, and produced
Plus,
plus.
Yeah, because there's
Every-
like 2 more after
there's
this
I
one.
think there's
That's right.
2 or 3 more after
Two-
this.
It's 2, isn't it?
2 more after this. This next one coming out, which is like
9.
next month, I think, is
Yeah.
9. And then there's 2 more after that, from what I understand, which I believe is a 2-parter.
And then
Yeah,
that kind of
it's the
wraps it
finale.
up.
And that
Yeah.
that wraps it up, from what I understand.
I have the same understanding, Mike. Although I thought it was 12 total, but
I think
Baz
the
says
original
11.
plan was 11 or 12, or 12 or 13, but
they cut back
they
because of
cut back,
yeah.
and I think part
Well,
of
they're
that
also
was
fan films, so getting people together from their real jobs
Yeah, it's hard.
or jobs
Well,
at all.
It's but also congratulations to Star Trek Continues. John Delancey is featured in the next episode, and no, he does not play Q. Which
Yeah,
is
he
pretty
does
nice.
play more than that, people.
Yeah.
Did you see this?
Did I see what?
I just put a link in the chat room. Kirk and crew joined the Star Trek VR game with Let's Play cartoon mashup. A group of Brits got together and played Star Trek VR. And instead of posting the video of their gameplay, they recorded just the audio. And then they edited scenes from the animated series
Okay.
and laid their voice over that.
Okay, that would be funny because
It
if
was
any of you,
hilarious.
I can tell you right now, after just beta testing the Star Trek Bridge Crew game, which is the virtual reality game, the conversations that you have are hilarious, especially if you don't know.
That moon looks like a butt crack. Hilarious. Let me
Okay,
tell
I
you.
gotta check that out because
Yes.
that's really funny.
There's like 4 videos. They're like very, very short, like a minute and a half each. So it's not a big time investment, but it's well worth it. Oh, it's hilarious. Got to check that out.
Very, very funny. All right. Another the sticking on the fan productions kind of thing. A legal victory was won by those who are asking for money for the Star Trek Dr. Seuss mashup. Oh, the places you'll boldly go. Mike, did you read up on this? Do we know what happened there?
I did look it over. Let me get it open. So just give me a moment.
It's an interesting case because for those of you who do not know, it was a Kickstarter. The art is dead on Dr. Seuss art. The language is kind of identical to the language used in the book, Oh, the Places That You'll Go. And then the artwork itself shows all of the characters in Star Trek gear and with pointed ears and stuff like that. So I want to
Okay.
see what they did.
Okay, so the article posts a quote from, I guess, the decision. United States District Judge Janice San Martino dismissed the trademark claims under the doctrine of normative fair use and largely agreed with Comic Mix's position that fair use protects the book from copyright infringement claims. Judge San Martino found that the book is a highly transformative work that takes no more than necessary from Dr. Seuss's books to accomplish its transformative purpose and will not impinge on the original market for plaintiff's underlying work. She emphasized that the case has broader significance. This case presents an important question regarding the emerging mashup culture, where artists combine two independent works in a new and unique way. Applying the fair use factors in the manner plaintiff outlines would almost always preclude a finding of fair use under these circumstances. However, if fair use was not viable in a case such as this, an entire body of highly creative work would be effectively foreclosed.
Yeah, that's an interesting ruling. Do we know if the estate is going to be filing an appeal? It hasn't been mentioned. I don't think that they haven't decided. They have quite a bit. They have a 30 days or so to decide whether or not they're going to file a notice of appeal. We'll find that out.
But that's a good point about mashup culture. I mean,
yeah, it is very much so.
And I would hate to see a lot of those awesome mashup works all of a sudden just go away.
Well, yeah, and it also kind of goes down to a couple of companies that do mashup T-shirts, right? Like T-Fury.
Yeah.
And whether or not they would be allowed to continue their mashups. It's an interesting ruling, and we'll see if anything comes of it. If
you're not allowed to cross that streams.
If the estate decides to move forward with it or just leave it lie. But congratulations to David Gerrold.
Yeah.
Let's see. A 3D printed phaser rifle.
Yes, and it's a scale. It's not a. It's 1-to-1 scale, so it's life-sized. I passed it on to Ross.
That's really cool.
So that is cool.
Of course, everybody. All of these links will be in our show notes at the when we post the edited version of our podcast. Let's see what else. And there's a Nerdvana article about Orville.
It's not really about Orville. It's about this other parody type show.
Oh,
that came out quite a bit of time before Orville, and they're just kind of reminding people that this thing exists.
Okay, all right. Well, that's fair. Let's see. Oh, I have a question for both of you because you got to speak with Mike Schilling. I know that you touched on it a little bit briefly with regards to your conversation with Mike Schilling about Shore Leave. What did you guys talk about?
Shore Leave. No, seriously, we talked about the convention.
Pretty much
that's
everything about the Shore Leave convention.
He gave the history of it. Of course, told who this year's honored guests are, explained who Gene Roddenberry is, talked about the people that set everything up, and the whole planning cycle that goes into it, because they're all volunteers. So it was very interesting. And Mike and I discovered that if we put him and Keith DeCanado and
Larry Nemechek
on together, we could just go for a drive.
Come back in like 4 hours, and actually, I don't think we need to come back.
No, you just do that thing where it's like, why don't you turn off the lights when you leave?
Yeah,
He knows
with
his stuff. When it comes to Shore Leave, he knows his stuff. I'll just say.
And what did he say, Mike? He's been going since the.
I think it was like 8. Since Shore
yeah,
Leave,
because this is the 39. Yeah, this is Shore Leave 39.
Yeah. Wow. 39. Really?
Yeah, isn't that insane? And like, Was it?
It's like the
first
little.
one,
It's like
Mike?
the little con that could.
Well, and he talked about that. And
How
I
it
think Robert
how it has
Greenberger.
evolved.
Yeah,
Yeah.
how he talked about the whole evolution of how it kind of became like
How
the
it went
yearly
from-
writers reunion when
How it started
they
off
had
as a Trek only type of con,
Yeah.
and over time evolved into more of a genre pop culture writers convention. You know, something they've got something for everyone. You know, and they
Yeah.
do.
and for a small independent fan run con, that's very important.
Yeah. Absolutely. This is cool. I'm glad that you guys finally got an opportunity to sit down and talk with them. When is the convention again? When does it start?
That is July.
It's coming up. I think towards the end of July, though. Yeah.
I think it's the middle. Hold on.
Yeah, I think it's just a week or two before STLV.
Yeah, that sounds about right. I think it's like in that hiatus between Comic Con and San Diego Comic Con and STLV.
Yep.
My God, my computer is so slow.
Moving
Oh, you know
on-
why?
Oh, what?
Because it's a bunch of scans are going on.
Oh,
Yeah, that'll do it.
I hate that.
And-
As far
and
the one
up-
thing I have to remind myself to do is because I'm pushed to talk, is to not scroll.
Yes. Everything shrinks or grows exceedingly
Oh
large.
yeah. 7th, 8th, and 9th. July 7th, 8th, and 9th.
Oh, sooner than I thought. Okay, cool.
And they have their first Big Bang Theory guest this year, Terry.
Oh,
Kevin Sussman, who plays Stewart.
Stuart.
oh, that's funny. He's God, what a funny character he is.
So they're going to be. He said they're going to be interested to see the reaction to him.
Yeah, it'll be very interesting. I hope so. I hope it'll be great.
Yeah.
Tell me a Star Trek story. Book news.
Kind of moving on. StarTrek.com had a wonderful article catching up with Star Trek novelist Dave Galanter. I wanted to.
Hey,
I just-
now.
I wanted wanted to make sure everybody knew that article was there. I also had a couple of great pictures from the jaunt that the Star Trek novelist had up to Ticonderoga.
Oh,
and
they are just milking that for all it's worth, aren't they?
They looked like they had so much fun. There,
Oh
though.
my God, they're just look at my picture shot out.
we're just jealous. Come
Exactly.
on. But it's a great little article, wonderful little interview. If you want to catch up with what Dave is doing, it's
Christopher
very
Baca, in or out? Don't leave the door open. Come on now.
You might be experiencing technical difficulties.
I know, Mike. That's doing like a parent.
Okay.
In or out? In or out? Don't leave the door open. What are you trying to hate the whole neighborhood? You trying to cool off the whole neighborhood?
Oh, poor Chris.
I know.
Let's see what else we've got going on in the book news.
Is there a slap fight going on in the chat room?
A who what?
Slap fight.
Oh, I don't know.
Baz is there, so it's a stop.
Baz and Snowman for us.
Oh, okay. Let's see what else.
By the way, Baz is my favorite Australian now because Woody can't bother to show up anymore.
Poor Woody.
It's late in the evening. If he has to work early in the morning, it's
I
like
don't care.
Tuesday or something over
I
there.
don't care. Baz cares enough to show up. My God, what is going on? I'm defending Steve and Baz. Oh, these meds. I got to get off these meds.
Oh, that reminds me.
What's that?
Speaking
We
of
received email,
I did?
actual email. We did
Okay.
from Baz.
Okay.
So I'm tracking it down.
Okay.
I can't scroll and talk at the same time.
I understand. There is a Captain Sulu adventure narrated by George Takei called Cacophony. It was written by J.J. Malloy, read by George Takei, and you can find it on Simon & Schuster Audio. Download the audio for $7.95 for your favorite audiobook format, Audible, audiobooks, whatever, iTunes. You can get it at anywhere. And
It's 3 books.
it is a trilogy, right?
Yeah, and I believe that they're older books.
They are.
So they've been out a while. But I find it interesting that the fact that they're now going back and doing audio versions of some of these older books is kind of exciting.
I think it's wonderful, to be honest with you. Especially, look, I didn't even realize the second book, by the way, the first book is Cacophony by J.J. Malloy. The second book is Envoy by L.A. Graff. And the third one is Transformations by David Stern. And these are all Captain Sulu adventures and read by George Takei and Dana Ivey. So this is very, very cool. I'm glad that they're doing this. Audiobooks seem to finally have found a foothold with a lot of listeners. So that's great news. So yay.
Yes, that is awesome.
Other book news. Oh, I really wanted to make sure that we did say that the new book, Deep Space Nine Gamma, Original Sin, by David R. George III, has come. I don't know if the book's been released yet. I think it may have been, but the cover and synopsis was revealed most recently. So
It's
you guys
due
have
out
to
this
check this
fall.
out. It's a wild photo or a wild picture. I think, are you putting it in the chat room? I might be.
Of course, yeah. So according to our friend Defcon, hi Defcon, he suspects that this is a new series or mini series, the Gamma, and it features Cisco as captain of the Robinson. So that photo could be the Robinson that we're looking at there.
Interesting. I'm trying to turn off. There. I hate autoplay videos and ads. Nothing. It's
Yes.
just so annoying.
Well, while you're saying that, let me just say this, Terry. It's Snowman Frost. You can provide all the links to things that are said all you want, but when there's
I'm not even paying
actual
attention.
something of substance, why do you believe anything Radio Edit says at this point after the multitude of lies?
Doesn't matter. We can talk about that and have ad nauseum. It doesn't matter.
He's proven himself to be a liar. And is it a fan film or a independent production, a professional production this week?
I think we all know my feelings on that answer, and we're going to move forward because I don't want to give him any more air. Cool. All right. There we go. And he's just, I know. And the chat room's just whatever. I'm just moving on. Leave it be. Discussion topics. No, let's talk about some general news.
What's new in the Star Trek universe? General news.
One of the things that came out this week was that J.G. Hertzler is going to be running for Congress. And
As Mark Twain, no less.
And I'm kind of confused by that. Is he really? I mean, he said that he was going to be running as the character Mark Twain kind of thing.
From what I understand, he's using it as to make a statement to kind of sort of draw attention to certain aspects of the campaign. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to work exactly, but he said that some appearances he will be making as or in costume portraying Mark Twain.
Yeah, that tells the voting public that you've got your personal thing together, huh?
I have to say I am confused by that. I mean, I realize that it's almost like a marketing trick, but at the same time, it just kind of says that he's not taking it seriously, that he's just running to cause noise, as opposed to really wanting to seriously take the position. Sounds a little weird on my side.
It does, and I was like, what? But you know, I've seen it posted so many places since then. So
yeah,
people are running with it.
Well, he's posted it himself on Facebook.
Yes, and like I said, people have picked it up and been running with it. So I'm seeing it all kinds of places. So joke or not, it's got traction. I don't know if it's actually going to happen or not, but you know, if it is a joke, it people are running with it.
Well, there you have it.
I just it's really weird because
it's strange.
I mean,
he won his current position in a traditional, well, he's himself, right?
Yeah.
And now to kind of take on a persona to run for Congress, it's almost a slap in the face to the position. I don't know. I find it a little odd and disappointing. like, you know, we're oh,
Yeah.
whatever.
So
Yeah, it's.
Yeah, I'm with you,
I,
Nick. What?
I mean, like, okay, I'm gonna. I won't mention any names. I'm just gonna use very generalities. But if we live in a place where rightfully people said, "Oh, how can you vote for her? She doesn't even know what she reads," or "How can you vote for him because he didn't know what Aleppo was?" How are you gonna vote for somebody who's doing it as a cosplay exercise?
Or yeah, I'm with you. It's disrespectful. I think it's
Yeah,
disrespectful to the position. That's all. I mean, not even Pat. What's his face? Remember him for?
Pat Robertson,
Oh yeah, he just
who Jesus told her on.
was that him? No, Pat Paulson.
Oh, Pat Paulson. I was thinking of Pat Robertson.
No, Pat Paulson, who kind of ran as his own character. It
Yeah.
was always done as a tongue-in-cheek kind of thing, although he always ran. And people didn't take him seriously. That's the issue here. Nobody's going to take him seriously.
Son says he's not running as Mark Twain, just campaigning as the character at some spots.
Okay. That would have to be.
I guess if Comic-Con is your is the audience you're trying to reach, then yeah, that might work.
Oh, I don't know. Both Nick and I have one thing in common, and that is a belief that there is a very large group of stupid people voting right now, and they're not going to get the joke.
You can hate some of the people that, well, actually hate would be the wrong
Hate would
word
be a
to
bad
use.
word, right?
People that have been elected, but you have to admit they did it in the old-fashioned way. They may have changed some campaign styles or funding or things like that, but they didn't resort to dressing up like Predator. You know?
Oh goodness, goddamn, fuck.
Well,
oh my.
okay, maybe Predator should run. I don't know. It was just the first thing that popped into my head.
Oh, it was the autoplay ads when you open up a
Oh yeah.
fucking thing, and they're so loud they scare you. Oh Jesus, I had to come down off of that one.
I'm not somebody
crap out of
that's
me.
big into. Part of the reason that Terry and I disagree so much is because I'm for much less government intrusion. But goddamn it, let's govern fucking pop-ups and shit that freezes your phone and all that kind of stuff.
I'll tell you.
Yeah.
Well, there is another link, and this one I actually heard and want to make sure that it's true, because if it's true, I think it's really, really fun. And this is the fact that they're going to be rebooting kind of the Golden Girls, but as 4 gay older men.
Yeah, and Takei is going to be one of them.
George Takei is going to be one of them. Word is, let me look here real quick, because the cast had kind of been mentioned. Let me look. Okay, it says the cast contains one actor who's already gone. Okay, well, by the way, the name of the show is called Silver Foxes, which is perfect. And I don't say, they're not showing in this article who the other 3 were. And I remember hearing them, and I thought, "Oh my God, this is going to be an amazing show."
There it is. They're trying to sell it to Hulu and Netflix, so
right.
It hasn't been picked up. They're just pitching it.
All right. So those who read for the pilot script, they did a table read for the pilot script. And Nick, come on, Bruce Valanche,
Oh God,
Leslie Jordan, Todd Sherry, and Sherry O'Terry. The cast
I love Sherry O'Terry.
The cast hasn't gotten an official confirmation yet, but they are pitching it to Hulu and Netflix. And pardon me, but I would watch the shit out of a show with Bruce Valanche and George
See,
Takei.
I don't like Bruce Valanche.
Oh my God, I would.
Now, I've got 2 words for you that if you had thrown those in, I'd be licking the TV with anticipation.
Okay.
The writers.
Harvey Fierstein.
I love me some Harvey Fierstein.
The writers worked on Gilmore Girls and Roseanne.
That's a lot of snappy dialogue.
That has a shitload of potential, and I'd watch. And again, I'd probably watch the shit out of it.
That is a lot of snappy dialogue. Both those shows.
And seeing as though one of the first gay bars I ever went to in what's called the Silver Fox, it would bring back a lot of memories. Let's see. What
And for those that don't know who Harvey Fierstein is, look him up on YouTube.
That's true. And go ahead.
I wanted to mention LeVar Burton. He has a new podcast.
Oh, he does.
Yes.
Is this the Reading Rainbow for adults?
Yes, and
Oh,
that's all
very
he
cool.
does is he reads a short story.
Oh, that's neat.
He reads a short story, and the idea is to get people interested in adult people, well, people of all ages, interested in reading, and so he will.
I just have
he reads
images
short
of
stories.
LeVar
to
Burton
people.
reading like 50 Shades of Grey a chapter at a time.
No. Oh man! Oh man! Get out of my head! Get out of my head!
Yeah, I know, right? Right?
Welcome back. Today is Chapter 5 of Lady Chatterley's Lover.
From what I
Pat,
understand,
watch that.
he's gonna stick to short stories, but he's done a science fiction one, and he's got some other ones lined up. So, should be interesting. So if you want to listen to LeVar Burton read,
I love it.
go check out his podcast. So, yeah.
Speaking of I'm sorry, Terry, because you mentioned about Silver Fox, and then Sun said Roseanne's supposed to be coming back to television too. Quick squirrel, did you see some of the things coming on this summer?
I have not, to be honest with you. Go for it.
Battle of the Network Stars is returning.
Oh my
What?
God.
And are you ready? And I'm gonna say it, and if it pisses people off, I don't care. They're rebooting the Gong Show.
I heard about that.
And let me tell you my problems, because I'm a lover of Gong Show canon. One, it's like on this huge stage with a big, like, huge audience, totally negating the charm of the original, which was like, looked like it was done in somebody's basement. Two, I don't know who this British comedian is that is hosting it. They say he's a legend. I've never heard of him, but he looks like Robin Williams with bad plastic surgery.
Who is it? Do you know the name?
I don't know the name. I'm sure somebody in our chat room can.
I'm looking it up.
Yeah. And I don't think they understand the utter. Let's face it. Okay, I'll just say it. The original was so great because everybody involved in that show was blasted on coke at the time. You know what I'm talking about, right? No, it's not Mike Myers. It's some British guy.
It's Tommy Maitland.
Yeah.
But the rotating celebrity judges will be Jack Black, Will Forte, and Zach Galifianakis.
Oh wow, I like them.
But the stage itself, is that Mike Myers?
Says
Playing
no,
a
the
British
host
comedian?
is technically Tommy Maitland, an elaborate character created for the sole purpose of stepping into the Gong Show role, once famously filled by the late Chuck Barris. And the says, while no party involved will confirm it, the host is believed to be Mike Myers.
Oh. No wonder he looks so much like Robin Williams. They made him to look that way.
Yeah. In addition to Arnett, who's producing as well, Will Arnett.
Yeah.
Who will turn up in multiple episodes. Zach Galifianakis, Allison Brie, Andy Samberg, Elizabeth Banks, Joel McHale, Dana Carvey, Will Forte, Jack Black, and Anthony Anderson are among others expected to rotate through on the panel.
It's like Saturday Night Live. Former hosts are like behind this whole thing.
That's a good point.
I don't know. It could be fun. It could also suck.
I think the original was such a product of its time. It was considered so subversive because people were upset that he was putting such non-talented people on the air. Now we live in the era of the Kardashians. You know what I mean?
But we're also in the era of like America's, Got Talent and all of the other
America's
reality
Got Talent,
shows.
though,
This could be a nice, punch in the nuts to that.
Yeah. My problem with it is aesthetics. It's on this huge stage. Like they have to go up a flight of stairs to ring the gong.
I haven't seen it yet. Have they already put it together?
Yeah, it's coming out soon. There's been commercials for it.
Oh, very cool. I haven't seen any of these. No.
Yeah, we were watching. I forget what we were watching, And with the Battle of the then Battle of the Network stars, like Ronda Rousey's going to be on it. I'm sorry, what network is she on? Don't get me wrong. I'm not complaining about seeing Ronda Rousey. I'm just
But
saying.
she's not like it. The one thing about Battle of the Network Stars was that it was actually really, really funny because you had like Battlestar Galactica versus,
Yeah.
Young and the fucking Restless. It was awesome.
And Robert
And it's
Conrad
cheesy.
was always a captain of his team.
Right.
And for those that don't know why Terry and I laugh at that, it's definitely a moment in time.
Again, and not the least of which is that I can't think of the guy's face without wanting to knock a battery off his shoulder.
I know. And Shatner was always very good on that because he's very athletic.
It was again a product of its time, but it had a couple of incarnations.
And it won't be the same without Howard Cosell calling it. And here comes Heather Locklear down the stretch.
I almost lost
I thought you'd be
bladder
interested in
control
both
with
of
that
those.
one. Oh, too funny.
I need more Star Trek stuff. Product news.
Okay. Official Star Trek iconic characters. Travis Mayweather, soft gel case for Apple iPhone 7.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. And has anybody told Anthony about this?
We need to get him on and ask
We do
his
need to get him on.
opinion.
Because that's freaking awesome. They have a Mayweather iPhone case. Oh my god.
Which is funny considering that's more time his face is seen than it was the entire 4 years of the series.
You can get it at Staples. That's very cool. QMX. Okay. So QMX, quantum mechanics, and everybody knows the quality of the stuff that this company makes is amazing. They have these high-end, amazing models. They have high-end, top quality communicator pins, phaser reproductions. They also do a lot for shows other than Star Trek, like Warehouse 13 and Firefly, and a bunch of other stuff. They make some really high-end, some beautiful models and props. They have completed and announced that they are doing the TOS Captain's Chair replica.
This is for their new line of action figures. I guess that's how you describe them. So I think they're like 1/6 scale or something.
They are 1:6 scale, and you can set your QMX action figure in it, and it'll fit perfect.
That's cool.
Very, very cool. It also has authentic bridge sounds and flashing warning lights.
So I wonder if this is going to be like the first component to a build your own bridge set or something.
I wonder. That'd be cool. I mean, you should see this thing. It's pretty beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
It's really beautiful. And I already know some people who have pre-ordered theirs, Casey.
Nice.
Oh my god.
We do have some product news. I'm flipping through real quick. Oh,
The Aussie plumber.
Yeah, let's talk. You talk about that one. That's awesome.
Well, this Aussie plumber, he went to China for some work, and
It's like the beginning of a bad joke. An Aussie
does.
plumber went to China for work.
and he, I guess he was confronted by a police officer or security or somebody, and he was using his phone for translation. And when he said, "Hello, how are you?" his phone replied with the Chinese or Mandarin version for "Hi, I love you," which did not go well. So apparently,
Oh my god.
So apparently that was the setup that got him to find a better way to create a better translator. And he's been working. He's got a team in India. He's been working with IBM, and basically this thing has its own SIM chip, so it has its own cell signal, and it will use data network to communicate with IBM Watson in order to provide probably one of the more accurate translations available.
Wow. It says the company May founded Lingmo created a device called Translate 1-to-1, Although it looks like a Bluetooth headset, albeit a bit larger, the device operates completely independently to a smartphone. It has a cellular radio built in and requires a SIM card. It works on 2G, 3G, and 4G networks. When the Translate 1-to-1's microphone picks up the speaker, it currently supports 8 languages, covering about 90% of the world's speakers. So current language supports include Mandarin Chinese, Japanese, French, Italian, German, Brazilian Portuguese, English, and Spanish. Arabic is planned next with Cantonese on the cards. That's fantastic.
It retails for $179 US.
Yeah, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Less than $200, and you can talk to people who speak a different language. That's freaking amazing.
Yep. So, yeah, I thought that was very cool. And might be a must-have if you're planning to travel abroad.
And we're getting to that universal translator sooner rather than later.
Mm-hmm.
Huzzah! All right, Riker collector pin. What the heck?
Yes, I knew this one would grab your attention. So StarTrek.com, their shop has introduced a whole line of TNG era collector pins from what is the company?
Fansets.
Fansets. Thank you. So you can get a Fanset Riker, Picard, Klingon, Borg, or Data, I believe is.
And if you get the whole set, does it do something funky?
Oh, I wish. I'm not sure.
Because sometimes fan sets, when you get an entire set of a particular group, like they did with the ship, it had that hologram.
Yeah, you used their a phone app, and it created a hybrid. What is it called? Hybrid reality. So it kind of like mix of virtual reality and
2D. Yeah. It was cool.
So
some interesting
you'd snap a photo using this app of the pin, and then the starship would kind of like start zooming across your screen.
Yeah, it was cute.
Cool. Yeah.
All right. So
we'll see.
Go ahead.
Yeah. It's fun and interesting, and yeah. So fan sets, new TNG stuff.
And is there what's this about Simon Pegg?
Let's watch a Star Trek movie. Movie news.
Basically, the article talks about how in the first iteration of Star Trek TOS, it was really all about Spock, McCoy, and Kirk. That they were really the heart of the show. And in the new Trek, the Kelvin universe, the heart of the show really now, or of the films, seems to have shifted more towards Peg, or towards the Scotty character. And Peg is a big part of what makes him that character great. And plus the fact that he wrote Beyond, which was one of the better film in the series. So the writer has decided that he is their secret MVP. He is the one that has made New Trek great again.
Very cool. And the last one I want to touch on before we get into a discussion topic is going to be regarding Star Trek Online, and that is a new promo that they have with the company Razer, Razer. For those who do not know, Razer makes a lot of gaming peripherals, mice, keyboards, joysticks, all sorts of different things. And now you can earn what are called Z Silver, which is essentially Razer's kind of
currency.
Commodity. Yeah, currency. And you can earn Z Silver while you play Star Trek Online. Essentially, go ahead.
It's like 3 Z Silver for every minute of gameplay is like the current rate for Stowe.
And then you can use that Z Silver to turn in and get Razer peripherals and mouse pads, mug holders, headsets, keyboards, all sorts of different accessories for gaming, which is pretty cool.
And some of it looks really nice.
Yeah, they make good stuff. I used to have a Razer keyboard for a long time. So, and it lasted forever. Actually, it lasted for 7 years. So that's a pretty good deal. And I just wanted to make sure that that got out there because the summer event is still ongoing, correct? In Star Trek Online, I do believe.
I have not been playing.
I know you haven't
anything.
played. And you're playing Timelines still, right?
I am playing Timelines.
And you're still doing your things?
In the current weekend event, I'm ranked. Last time I checked this morning, I was ranked 24.
Wow, that's kind of like the best you've ever done.
Yeah, that's like the best so far.
Wow, very
So
cool.
I'm hoping I hold on to that, within that top 25, because then I get 2 cues.
We have a couple of discussion topics set, but I wasn't sure if Nick had one in the back of his pocket.
No, go ahead.
All right, so Mike's got a couple of discussion topics here for us, and I'll let you guys choose which one you want to talk about first if we're going to have more than one. The first one is, why can't America make innovative movies about the future anymore? What if Khan was a good guy? And what would happen to the Star Trek universe if the Earth was lost?
Oh my God.
That's the one I would.
I'm sorry.
What's the
Stephen
matter?
First died.
Yeah, yesterday.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Yeah, Flounder is gone. It was really sad too.
Why Flounder? Why
Huh?
not?
And also from he was
Babylon
Veer?
5.
Babylon 5, was that his
Yeah,
character
he
name?
was really good on it.
Yeah. Bill
Interesting.
Mummy posted a beautiful tribute to him last night, talking about what good friends they were.
Since y'all, I'm sorry to interrupt. Since y'all just posted in the chat room that J.G. Hertzler is going to be recording voiceover for Star Trek Online.
Sweet.
Martok, maybe.
God, that'd be awesome.
Interesting.
Well, wait a minute. Didn't Jempak kill Martok?
Yeah, that's how he became Chancellor. Huh? How is that going to work? I suspect time travel may be amiss.
Not again. That would never happen with Trek.
No, never ever happen with Trek. Might as well just call it. Oh, no, I won't. So what would happen to the Star Trek universe if the Earth was lost? Is that what you were thinking of, Nick?
That's the
No,
one
I
want.
just saw the Stephen First thing and it shocked me.
Okay. Yeah, well,
Martok's son. That's a nice idea, Ross.
Ooh, that's interesting.
what's that?
Martok's son,
Oh, that'd be good too.
Drex. Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be really good. So, I don't know. What do you guys want to yak about?
Snowman Frost, that's not going to happen, so stop it.
All right.
Why copyrights are holding off progress. That's what I thought.
Yeah. Bring that up with Semantic Shenanigans.
Yeah, there
That's
you
who you can go to. That's what their podcast covers. Ours is about Star Trek. So there you have it.
Oh, wait a minute. Now Sun is saying Martok's son is dead, isn't he?
Drax is dead too. I mean, Drax. Did we ever see him in DS9?
No.
He
No,
was
but I
just
think
No,
mentioned,
we saw
right?
Alexander.
Yeah.
Emo Alexander.
I think he was just mentioned. Drex was just mentioned.
Yeah, it's two things that used to bother me a lot about Star Trek writing in that particular era was that they couldn't get, if there was two things that writers didn't get very well and didn't know how to write very well, it was teenagers and married women. They both came off like whiners.
Oh, you know what? Ross is right. Worf punched him out in the first episode. Remember?
Punched who out? Drax?
Yeah.
Huh?
First episode of what?
When he came to Deep Space Nine. Remember the Klingons were being boisterous in the bar?
He was one of the drunk Klingons? Huh.
I believe so. He was close to Martok. That's why Worf hit him, because he knew who his father was.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't know. It's been
Interesting.
so long since I've seen that. So I'd
Yeah,
have to
now
watch
I'm
it
going to have
again.
to watch
Yeah.
now I have to watch that episode again. Interesting. Yeah.
You know,
'cause I
this
didn't
week
either.
I needed a laugh, so I watched Take Me Out to the Hollow Suite.
Oh, that's a good one.
Fucking Max. I got it.
I just got in Timelines. I just got Niners Rom and Kira. Actually, I just got those two characters in Timelines, both wearing the Niners uniforms. I'm sorry, Squirrel.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing, remembering. It's called gum. You chew it and infuse it with flavor. What flavor did you use? Scotch. Oh, Brian. It's a goofy ass episode, but
It is.
it makes me smile.
And it should,
Yep.
because it's silly and wonderful.
Right on. All right. So, what discussion topic are we going to do?
Well,
Go ahead, Terry.
I was going to say, why don't what would happen to the Star Trek universe if Earth was destroyed?
Are we going to set any limitations on what that means? Was it attack? Was it some kind of natural disaster? Things of that nature.
Let's go with, attack.
An attack.
Well, oh no, how about if we do this? What if instead of Romulus and Remus, Earth was the one that was lost in the Hobus explosion?
So a natural disaster.
A natural, well, I don't know, it's arguable, right?
Yeah.
It depends on if you're following Stowe, it wasn't natural either.
Yes.
Well,
okay.
then not only would you lose Earth, you'd lose Luna.
Everything in the
everything in the solar system.
Everything in the solar system.
So Mars.
No Mars, no Jupiter station.
Yep.
Okay, so everything, all Earth footprint is just poof, gone. Okay, got it.
Yeah, a la Romulus and Remus. What if it had been Earth and the Sol system?
Wow. Okay. All right. So obviously, humanity would continue on. There would still be humans out there somewhere, because we have colonies and we've got,
there'd be tons of them. Because
there's still a lot of humans out there.
A lot of humans, because you know that there's a lot of colonies.
But the seat of Federation government would be no more.
There would be none.
It would have been wiped out because it was based in Paris, right?
As with Starfleet.
All of Starfleet Command would be gone.
Just the command center doesn't mean that they don't have multiple other footprints.
Yeah, but how deep in the roster are they going to have to go to rebuild that? Is it going to be who? Think about it. All right, just think about this. If the Pentagon were blown up today, how deep would they be going to find the most senior person to take over?
I think that it's, how deep would they have to go to? I guess, I'm sure that they have those things in place as well.
Can you imagine how many admirals they have?
Well, yeah.
I think they would like be going to the fleet admirals that are like out in charge of various star bases and overseeing territories. I think those would be the ones that would kind of step
Well, the first question is where would the new seat of government transfer to?
True. I think that's the thing.
And are we in the Prime universe, Terry?
Yes,
Okay.
I'm assuming Prime universe.
Yes.
To add another layer.
Yeah, to add another layer. Prime universe, Earth destroyed. It kind of goes back to not an argument, but a really great discussion that I had once with when I was first starting fanfic. And that was, we had a very big group. It was Mike Garcia and Steph Watson and Sam Redfeather, a whole bunch of really great fanfic writers. And we were talking one night about how we all truly believed that it was kind of ridiculous. It was absolutely ridiculous to think that Starfleet Academy only had one school.
Yeah, I don't think they do.
And that Starfleet Academy, only had one footprint in San Francisco, and that Starfleet only had one footprint in San Francisco, and that the Federation only had one footprint in Paris. No, I mean, this was a multi-planetary organization founded by 3 other species as well.
But it is very Homo sapien specific.
It was very, the way that the show was written was that it was so focused on Earth that it was kind of stupid. And we always thought, that's bullshit. They're going to have Starfleet offices and a Starfleet Academy. As a matter of fact, they're going to have a boatload of academies because it's so big. There's no way that just a few hundred officers get graduated every year.
Yeah, there would be what not annexes, but maybe is annex the correct term? There would be other facilities that maybe would specialize in different types of activities. For instance, I could totally see Andoria having a Starfleet Academy that specialized in cold weather tactics and dealing with that type of environment on a more permanent
I
basis.
look at it this way. I don't think that would be the academy. That would be a school like
Right, like command school.
yeah, because like in the Army, you have basic training, and then you have Ranger School, and you go to
Yep.
you go to Swamp Phase in Florida, Mountain Phase in Georgia. So, but the Ranger School itself is out of Fort Benning, Georgia. But you have the places you go to. So that's what I see is like their survival school would have a section on Vulcan where you're doing desert
Hot
training, and then a
desert training.
section.
Yeah,
on
you're
Andoria where
roaming
doing-
the forge.
and then a section on Pacifica where you're doing water.
So I think that, and that's part of the reason why, even when there was this discussion, or even when they came out and said that they destroyed Romulus and Remus, and that whole Romulan, solar system was destroyed, I never really saw it as a destruction of Romulus by any stretch of the imagination. As a matter of fact, as what I saw it was the challenges that the people who were left in those alternate sites, because you have to assume that Romulus has a multitude of colonies as well, as was Remus. And how do those colonies reforge together? And do they, or do some go out and become independent? Same thing goes with if Earth was destroyed. Do you see a bunch of Earth colonies going, fuck you, we're on our own now?
Well, wouldn't that
I mean, what if they decided
wouldn't
to
that rub against Gene's utopian vision of them then saying, screw it, we're on our own?
Well, didn't that already kind of happen with Alpha
with
Centauri?
DS9? I mean, come on.
Well, I mean, Alpha Centauri. I mean, the whole reason why when the Federation was forming, weren't they one of the holdouts for a human colony? They were one of the last holdouts to join.
I think that's in the book.
Well, that is in the books, but yeah, I mean, I can see some of them, possibly saying, "Hey, wait a minute, let's not be so hasty." But I think they would, the Federation, the member planets would probably act quickly to try to get the government reestablished. They would hold elections as soon as it would be feasibly possible.
Yeah, but
Go ahead.
you're starting from less than scratch. If what we're told, if everything is on Earth, and
Well,
it
not.
all
That's
gets,
the thing is, how could it be? How could everything be on Earth?
that's how they painted it on the show and in the movies. I mean, you can't deny that's how they painted it. Was that was the magnetic center of the Federation? And here's an even bigger thing. Let's say that happened. Let's say the whole system was destroyed. If you don't think that the Cardassians or the
Yeah.
Romulans
or even
whoever
the Klingons.
would not immediately move in while there is complete and utter disarray.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, there wouldn't even be time to start talking about a new election. That's just my thought on it, that somebody would jump in and just start taking shit.
Yeah, but wouldn't that responsibility fall onto the fleet admirals and whatnot that are kind of?
I think you're overlooking the shock factor that this would have. Look at the shock that befell on 9/11, and that was just in 2 cities, and our government wasn't wiped out. I'm not talking about government itself, I'm talking about the people. But then if you take away all hierarchy, first of all, there's going to have to be, okay, who's left? They have to be taking accountability. Now you're looking over hundreds of light years of trying to figure out who's around and who's not. Because who's not to say that Admiral Akar wasn't visiting
Deep Space
Space Nine at the point?
Right, or it doesn't. And that's the whole thing, is that that's why I don't believe that it would be so centralized as to not have some kind of a place, something in place for that. And whether or not that there's a
designated survivor,
designated, yeah, kind of like a thing. Yeah,
well,
really.
That's what they did on Babylon 5. That's how the Secretary of Education wound up as the president, because she was visiting the Galactica for its decommissioning when the Cylons attacked, and She was like 23rd in
Oh,
line
you're talking
or
about
something.
Battlestar Galactica. I'm like, Babylon 5, really?
I'm sorry, I meant Battlestar Galactica.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was visiting the Galactica. She was like 23rd in line, but she was all that was left.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that there would be some form of kind of regroup, whether it especially with the other member planets, right? And you have to remember even if it was TOS or even if it was TNG era, by this point in time there's 180 members. The loss of yes, the core, where like everybody said, the ceremonial core is, but I think a lot of administrative core is left as well. I don't think it would be so much that they couldn't regroup pretty quickly, I would think.
So if I'm on an outer colony and Earth is destroyed,
well, that's my thing. It's the
hold on.
colonies
Let
that
me
are going to
finish.
be
Let me
different.
finish.
Yeah.
Does that mean that my bank loans are invalidated, so I don't even have to worry about paying those bills anymore?
Well, I don't know. How do people deal with it now when their governments are destroyed?
I think
Trying to make the car payment. There's no planet left.
the car was on the planet.
Yeah. Does my insurance cover my planet exploding?
Oh man.
But I like Terry was saying, there's got to be people out there, whether on some trip or that are, stationed elsewhere. And I think it would be a relatively short amount of time. I'm talking days, before we start figuring out who is still around, and start figuring out, okay, who is going to be in charge in the interim. But yeah, people, like Nick said, people are going to be in shock, and it's going to take a little while. I mean, it's not going to be like Earth's destroyed, an hour later we're going to hold elections. It'll be a few days, few weeks before our elections are held. And I think, defense is definitely going to be an issue, like Nick was saying, especially against some of the more opportunistic neighbors that the Federation has. So I think it really is going to come to those people on the front lines, to be aware of the situation and to be ready to respond as necessary. But at the same time, they do have to put their government back together, so they're going to, within a reasonable amount of time, start organizing elections and trying to get the Federation back together. I think for the majority of the member worlds, it's too important to let it go.
Is it?
Yeah, I'm not so sure either, Mike. It depends on. Yeah, let's face it. There's one thing that we can always count on, and that is a pretty independent streak amongst anybody.
I mean, let's look in the novels. Andoria, Sicily.
Yeah, right. Well, and the reasons behind that were pretty.
And
right,
they came back once
but
their issues had been resolved.
Maybe now the people think we don't need the Federation anymore. We can do local alliances, but we don't need such a large, unwieldy bureaucracy.
It's an interesting thing.
Let's face it, the Andorians are pretty independent people.
Well, I think anybody, the way that they're talked about and written and created, I think they're all independent. I think Vulcans are very independent. I think that Andorians are very independent, and God knows that Tellarites are.
Yeah, but they also realize that there is strength in
unity.
In unity.
But let's look at what.
Holy crap! Andorian Brexit.
and exit.
Exit.
Let's look at what has been painted as the glue, both in the novels and in the series and the movies. What has been the glue?
And humanity
that
is
special
still around.
Spark of humanity.
And humanity is still around.
Right, but it has no home base. It's not going to go away.
It has no home base.
Right, even if Earth is destroyed, one of the things that kind of always bugs me about, and I don't mean bugs me, but it's just a math thing, right? It's one of those nerd things. I admit it. Okay, in Star Trek the movie First Contact, in First Contact, they talk about World War III, right?
Mhm.
And that somehow, and they were, and Riker comes out and says 600 million dead. And as a viewer, you think, holy crap, that's horrible. That's just that's a horrible number. And I'm just kind of rolling my eyes.
It's like a
going,
16th or
That's
something.
not even.
it's 12%.
That's not even the population of China.
It's 12% of the human population. That leaves what? 80 fucking 8% of the human population still on the planet. That's plenty.
Mhm.
That's plenty of people.
Yeah, and most of those 600 million are the kind of people that like try skateboarding downstairs onto a, onto a railing kind of thing. But okay, Terry.
So if you really wanted to talk...
it is 12%. But during that war, how many people were?
But it was the major cities, right?
Yeah.
So it was all of these commerce and government centers
And communication and things like that. Yeah, I don't think that the Marshall Islands had an issue, but if you lived in Chicago, you're fucked.
Which is why, you hear about Cochrane kind of setting up shop in the middle of nowhere, Montana.
Yeah.
But again, he's also somebody who was smart. They had resources. They had intelligence. They had the ability to kind of set up some form of civilization again. And it's not like they lost all of their knowledge, right? They still had all of the knowledge, enough knowledge to actually convert a nuclear warhead into a warp drive kind of thing. That's what I'm talking about. Even if Earth is lost, the communal knowledge and the remaining population that lives off of Earth would still continue to move forward.
And by that time, I mean, I would suspect that there's a large population of humans living off world by that point in time. Here's an interesting fact. I'm Portuguese, as a lot of people know, and I live in California, and there are more Portuguese people living in California than in all of Portugal itself. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
A few hundred years removed from now, with the advent of faster than light travel and exploration and all of these civilized, I think that the majority of the humanity may actually be living off world than actually living on Earth and within the solar system.
That's not a bad comparison, Mike. It really isn't. The idea, I mean, that's what happens when you colonize. And those of us of European descent, there are more of us in the U.S. right now than there are in most of our countries from whence we came.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, there's more Italians in Brooklyn than there are in Italy.
So I can definitely see that trend continuing
That was a joke, by the
on.
way.
But it was funny.
Failed miserably.
It's also true, though. I don't know if it's true, but I think it.
Hey, I'm going to get a slice. Anybody want something? Fucking mind. Come on, I ain't got all day. This is where I wish Marv was here.
But I think the majority of humanity would be living off world. So I think a lot of human values are still going to be there, still going to be available to keep the Federation going if humanity is such an important part of it.
Yeah, go ahead.
So I think the desire for the Federation, what it potentially can represent, is still going to be there. People are going to still want it back. Yeah, some people are going to want to go independent. I mean, someone in the chat room had said after the fall of the Soviet Union, look at Russia. There a lot some outer fringe areas of the country did form independent.
Some. Like everything.
Well, and I think it's the other way around too. I think a lot of the reason why the Soviet Union fell were because the smaller countries were getting their independence first.
Yeah.
So like Estonia being the one that kicked everything off.
And they were being forced at gunpoint to be a member of the Soviet Union. They were not willing participants like Nato.
Okay. And with the Federation, it is a will. There is a willing component to it, and no one's being forced into it. So,
Right.
okay, so there is a.
Yeah, Poland was not exactly happy to be a member of
Right.
the Soviet
I will accede that or agree to that.
Yeah.
So, but again, I can see some of the people that, or some of the the members that are kind of out there on the fringe, maybe some of the newer members kind of being, wait a minute, we didn't sign up for this shit. Kind of, take a step back, maybe want to see, rethink their decision. But I think for the most part, the people that the races that have been in the Federation for the longest time, as long as they've been treated fairly, and I believe that would be one of the things that the Federation has always tried to do, is treat its members fairly. I think a lot of them would want to try to continue on.
Do they?
I don't know. Do they?
I think the Maquis had a pretty good point.
Oh, that their colonies were turned over or reseeded back to Cardassia?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's so interesting, right?
Yeah.
Is that that's a relevant, and again, I think that part of the things that I found so interesting okay, Terry, form a coherent thought. Oh, Jesus.
You need any more coffee?
Yeah, I kind of need another cup.
I'm on my second Coke this morning. I'm sorry, my second line. No, can of Coke.
I was initially, when I first found out that they, for all intent and purposes, destroyed the Romulan homeworlds in the movie, and they did it in the Prime universe. It really bummed me out. I was really pissed. Not unlike Christine Thompson when she was writing her first draft of Star Trek Online, right?
We can't do it to the Klingon. Oh no, can't touch the Klingon.
I know. Be that as it may, after it sat with me for a little bit, I realized the amazing amount of story potential that something like that could give the Star Trek world. And a lot of what that did was, of course, bring out those really relevant ideas.
See, you know what's interesting when you say that, Terry? With the Federation being the Federation, I think if that happened, the Federation would come in to try and assist and offer whatever they could, even though you're going to get pushback from the remaining Romulans, because
right?
That's
what makes the story so amazingly.
If you flip it around, I don't think the Romulans would do that. Well, I don't know, because we've seen the Romulans. We've seen them painted because they did help during the Dominion War.
I don't see them as being completely like, oh, gee, let's.
But they're going to be playing an angle on it.
Yeah, that's
for sure.
That's for sure. As are the Klingons.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and the Cardassians, if they were in a. Well, see, if it were to happen while Garak was in charge, I definitely think that there would be a legitimate offer of help from Garak.
Yeah. And the Klingons with Martok, again, I think that would be helpful. The Ferengi Alliance, they would be helpful.
Oh my God, can you imagine the markups?
I'm not saying that they would not profit.
They would profit in a big way.
But they would definitely, there would be assistance coming from the Khitomer Accords, the Klingons, and
think post DS9,
other potential Khitomer Accord members.
If it were to happen pre DS9, totally different than post DS9.
There would be war on multiple fronts.
I think DS9 really.
It solidified the large portions of the quadrant.
It dealt with diplomacy a lot more than people realize in subtle ways that we saw. That's another reason I think DS9 was the strongest, because it allowed that kind of deeper storytelling, because you weren't going from planet to planet every week.
Right, and
it showed far more personal stories
or political stories.
Yeah, political stories.
Well, and that's what I think would be so fascinating about telling that, again, reversing that story from the destruction of Romulus and Remus to the destruction of the Sol system would be, how would that affect the Federation? How would we see? And I absolutely wholeheartedly believe that we would see a huge increase in storytelling. Of course, you would see a huge increase in, say, a reformation of a new version of the Maquis.
Now, let me ask you that. Before you get to the Maquis, let me ask you this. Can you imagine the Borg if they found out Earth had been destroyed?
They'd be pissed, be going, God damn it, who did what we
They
could
beat us to it.
Or would it make it easier to assimilate? Because you got to
The rest of the Federation.
That if Sol system itself, there's a lot of the fleet.
See, and that's the thing. I don't believe that that's a lot of the fleet. I think it's a small portion of the fleet.
Yeah, no, but you've got the shipyards and space dock and all of that.
Absolutely, you have San Francisco fleet yards and
look
Mars
what Pearl Harbor did. Our whole fleet was our entire Navy was not at Pearl Harbor.
Right.
But look at the damage that it did.
And how much worse it could have been if it had hit those fuel tanks.
Or if the aircraft carriers hadn't been out to sea.
Right.
But yeah, the Maquis, see, I was always mad they made Eddington, Jesus Christ, so fixated on the Les Mis thing because
they overplayed that.
He and Cal, the Cisco's friend who joined the Maquis, brought up some amazingly deep and good points.
Yeah. I loved, and it's gonna sound funny, that's the stuff I loved, and that's the stuff I kind of hope, and I know a lot of people will hate me for it, but you know what? That's kind of the stuff I hope we see in Discovery. Is going to be that political, intrigue, side of things. What happened 10 years before? How did the Klingon War start? That's fascinating to me. It's okay to talk about politics in Star Trek. Why? Because that's what it's fucking about. And
sorry, I'm eating a Twix bar.
Oh, it's okay. But
I'm so hungry.
It would be an interesting thing to think of things as what would happen and where would. There is no way I would believe that the Federation would put all of its eggs in one basket, namely because there's no way the Andorians, Tellarites, and Vulcans would allow it. They would want to have a piece of that pie because they are founding members of it.
Right.
It would just not be a reasonable or logical thing to do. You're going to have multiple academies spitting people out from multiple locations at different areas. So when Steph and I were talking about how she had a wonderful idea of the fact that there were multiple campuses on Earth alone. And of course there would be. There would be multiple campuses on planets with different gravity on it for those who couldn't attend on a 1G world. Or
wait a minute though. Didn't Melora? Wasn't that part of her problem? Was she had to go to Earth to go to the Academy?
Was it the Academy, or was it just the fact that she couldn't serve? I mean, it was that she couldn't even serve on a ship that had a 1G thing,
I thought,
right?
I thought, and I could be wrong, but I thought they mentioned something about it was difficult for her at the Academy.
I'm sure it was. And that's kind of the...
Couldn't you homeschool the Academy? Couldn't you homeschool it?
Well, at the Academy, she doesn't have the option to go non-gravity at all.
Right,
so
that she's on a planet.
So she can't get away from 1G when she's on Earth.
And at least in an artificial environment, she can alter the gravitational pull like she did on Deep Space Nine or on a ship, which is why she's written that way in Titan, that they even allow her to kind of alter the gravity in
her workspace,
her workspace, and then she just holograms into the meetings, which I think is brilliant. So yeah, I just see it as that the Earth is merely, yes, there is a concentrated governmental center, which there's going to be, but it's not so concentrated as that all of those eggs are in that basket. I think that the Federation survives.
I think it evolves. I think it'll evolve, but as a result of Earth's destruction. But I think it's going to survive. It's going to continue on. But I think I remember Daniels talking about the Federation or the Starfleet, how from his time that it's different than what you know. I think he was referring to Starfleet. It's different than what Archer knew at the time, and over time, yeah, it's going to evolve, especially as more aliens get involved. But I think when something like the destruction of Earth were to happen, it would force it to evolve even further. And I think that's something that would happen is maybe it becomes something other than quote unquote the Federation. It becomes something different. Maybe something that actually allows the Cardassians and kind of like perhaps. I mean, the Khitomer Accords. I mean, we saw that the Klingons were involved with that, and the potential for the Cardassians and the Ferengi to join the Khitomer Accords as well was kind of laid out with DS9. The path was there for those or for those nation states to kind of become signatories of that agreement. But I can see something like the Khitomer Accords becoming more of a more of the foundation for the next generation of the Federation, where it's you have more independent nation states coming together to kind of sort of help govern a larger region.
Well, that's kind of how I see the Federation to begin with, is that Andoria never loses its individual Andorianness. Vulcan never loses its native or its independent Vulcanness. They're just members of a larger kind of combined United States type of thing. And that's kind of how I always saw it being based on, was not unlike the United States or Canada or any other country that has provinces, where independent states are brought together. And people may not realize,
Let me ask you. No, never mind. I was going to open a can of worms.
Oh, okay. What would happen if we lost Washington, D.C.? Would the United States stop to function? I don't think so. I think we would find a way to regroup. We'd still be the United States of America.
Would we? Seriously? Yeah. I'm asking, would we?
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. There's a lot of
conspiracy theory. Don't we have like a shadow government in Colorado?
No, we've got NORAD.
Well,
NORAD. Okay.
But that's defense, right?
Yeah, that's.
I mean, that's the thing. If we lose the Pentagon, we still have NORAD. There's got to be something in place that allows for the function of a defense from more than one point. There's no way we have all of our eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
And if we do, then we deserve to die because we're stupid.
Well, it's like with all conspiracy theories. I'm just going to say this. One of my favorites is the people that say 9/11 was an inside job. But they're also the same people that say Bush was the stupidest president we ever had. So he's so stupid that he brilliantly orchestrated this attack and then made it look like he was so stupid. What? Yeah, my head, it hurts.
Yeah, well, and again, the one thing about all conspiracy theories that I have so far come across is conspiracy theories don't work because humans can't keep secrets.
Unless
large groups of Americans, large groups of people can't keep secrets. We just can't.
If there's more than two people involved, somebody else is going to know.
That's true.
And for those that are conspiracy theorists, you must understand, our government can't help it. Everything has to be put on paper.
It's true. Oh, Joe, and just on talk about a total squirrel. Ross in the chat room just said
flat earthers.
Flat earthers. Did you see the argument between the flat earther and the hollow earther? It's fucking hilarious. Oh, no, it's just a raging ball of stupid.
Speaking of a raging bowl of stupid, I'm going to scroll here for a second.
Okay.
Hey Terry.
Oh God.
You know what really chops my sticks?
Okay, here we go.
Okay. Now,
is it something that we should really be talking on this podcast? Because if not, you and I can take it to Facebook.
No. Okay. This is.
Okay.
Because Michael laughed too. Okay. Terry, you and Alan do what? Blue Apron?
Yeah.
Okay. It's a really cool thing, right?
We're enjoying it. Yeah.
Well, let me tell you what really chops my sticks.
There we go.
Have you seen these ads for Blue Apron, and I forget the name of the other company that's the really big one for the same kind of thing. where
Probably
they-
HelloFresh or something like
yeah,
that.
something like that. These ads make it look like the public is just so stupid. Oh, we followed this and we cooked and now we are all good. Oh, I did not know how to cook anything at all before this.
Do you know how many
Oh.
people don't know how to cook? Dude, I'm not kidding.
No, I know, but they make it look like, I'm going to quote Bill Hicks. Advertisers,
okay.
just go shoot yourself. No, I'm not joking. Just go shoot yourself.
Yeah, no,
No,
we
really,
haven't seen
this
a
is
lot of
not
the
a
ads
bit.
for it just because, we already use it. We like
But
it.
it's just
fun.
like, please, I can't believe that as a people, cooking is that difficult a concept to grasp.
There's a lot of people who don't know how to cook. A lot. I know. It's really scary. All right.
It just really bugs me then, because I don't know. I was raised being taught how to cook by my father because he was the cook in the family.
Yeah.
And
I was raised to learn how to cook too, and this is not, by the way, Nick, before we make the mistake of thinking that somehow this is a millennial thing, I know more millennials that cook than people.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, right. So
I think
I'm just
the Food
saying,
Network has helped that a lot, actually, with the younger people. There's so
Yeah,
many
great
people that
foodies.
have gotten into cooking through it.
I agree.
Can you imagine the Food Network and the Federation?
Yes, actually, I can.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like a Tellarite chef.
Oh my god, it's so awesome. That's why I told you when somebody gave me a challenge is to write your fanfic character as if that person never entered the academy or never went into Starfleet. What would they be doing?
A Vulcan Bob Ross.
Right? I wrote Beth as a chef. I wrote her as she was a chef.
There are no mistakes, just logical little trees.
But a Vulcan with Bob Ross's hair.
Did you see the Bob Ross Funko
Yes.
pop?
By the way, there was a cosplayer there yesterday as Bob Ross.
Nice.
I saw the hair and the palette. He had the palette with him, but he also had like a bandolier of paints. So I think it was like Bob Ross Vampire Hunter.
Nice.
All right. We do need to wrap things up.
Ross's Vulcan afro.
I know, right? So we do need to. What announcements do we have, Mr.
Tellarite
Ceridium?
Bob Ross. You made a mistake. What's wrong with you?
Fuck the happy trees.
I'm putting some
Mikey.
dying children over here.
I'm not gonna read the entire lengthy email from Baz, but we did get an email from Baz. Basically, he reviews the Star Worlds Freedom versus Control in online game worlds. So thank you, Baz. Sorry, but it's too long. I'm not going to read this.
You could have Ross narrate it.
No. I mean,
Be
this
about as
thing,
long as
this
one of his
thing,
ads.
this thing is 4 paragraphs, and it's like almost a page in length. So yeah, I'm sorry, I'm not going to read it, but we appreciate you checking out the book and reviewing it for us. I may just copy and paste this into the posts at some point or something, but other than that, the Mike Schilling interview regarding Shore Leave is live, so definitely check that out. Support BLB Productions, Live Love Play, Semantic Shenanigans, Sports Show, the whole kit and caboodle. Our audio dramas and YouTube videos and all that stuff.
Cool. Ouch.
The hell just happened?
Oh, I hit the little knob on my mic stand.
Oh.
Anything else?
Keep an eye out for the Lego Adventures of Big Dude and Little Dude. I don't know.
Yeah, that's cool. Where can they find it when it comes out?
It'll be on Live Love Play somewhere, either their YouTube channel, their Twitch stream, or somewhere. Maybe even their website. I don't know. Ross hasn't told me yet.
That's cool. And it was
3.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
And anything announcements from you, Nick?
I have gas.
Yikes.
Jeez.
Yep, that's exactly what it was too.
you realize I've like polished off 2-liter bottles while the show was going on,
Oh my
right?
God!
Are you
you're
kidding?
lying.
Of
It's
what?
hot. It's hot.
Of what?
Water.
Oh, okay.
I'm
No,
like
I thought you meant
floating
Coke.
here.
I was like, good God, man.
No.
We have to let Mike go to the bathroom now.
Yeah.
Really bad.
Thank you all for joining us. It was a great conversation. If you have anything to add regarding our conversations, how do you think the Federation would survive, and would it survive the destruction of the Sol system? Let us know. Send us an email or a voicemail here at gntshow.com, or you can send us an email at hosts@gntshow.com. And you can follow me on Facebook at Terry Lynn S. Nick, where can they follow you?
Maybe we should ask Dayton too.
Wow.
At Gettysburg 7. That's the number 7, not the word.
And Mikey?
Sordium STO. SORIDM.
Mike's gotta go.
Yes.
So we love you. Thanks for listening. Join us next week for episode 284. Until then, live long and prosper.
Kablah.
Joe Lontrue, Asparagus Pissers, GNT 283.
Music for the GNT show is provided by 5-Year Mission, Enterprise Blues Band, Warp 11, Andrew Allen, and Greth Thor. The GNT show is a BLB production.
Move ahead, walk back to 10. Put a mini skirt on my yo man. Represent the human race. And we make space a happy place. To fully go where no man's gone before. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community. Gonna travel to new worlds. Beam on down and meet some green girls. Gonna see what we can see. A fancy free galaxy. To fully go where no man's gone before. I think I sang that line once before, but I'm not too sure. We'll be so happy, can't you see? A zero-G community. Come and take a tour with me. There'll be no